Well, hello internet. It is Zondaria, and it is what I consider Spooktober. My usual content is gonna be kind of put on hold for a moment, and I kind of want to focus on horror and creepy content for the month of October. I've honestly been looking forward to this month for a long time now, and I'm honestly looking forward just to making content this month. Just horror and creepy shit this month. To start off Spooktober, I decided I want to visit one of my favorite subreddits and share a horror story to people. And so yeah, we're going to be checking out one of the stories from our No Sleep Today. Okay, the story is titled Church Lady and it's written by user ASChad740. I awoke early Sunday morning to the sound of my mom's high-heeled dress shoes clanking down the wooden stairs. I stayed up late Saturday night clearing dungeons in Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. She dragged me out of bed and forced me to put on my Sunday best for 9 AM Mass. During Mass, I sat and stood at all the right times and gobbled out a few words when the congregation was expected to say something. For those of you who are not Christian, or like me, haven't been to church in many years, near the end of Christian Mass, the priests invite the congregation to give each other a sign of peace. The crowd erupts into loud murmurings of "Peace be with you," followed by "and also with you," as the congregants shake hands, hugs, crack jokes, and emit coffee breath into the air. I hugged my parents and politely shook the hand of the man standing in the row behind me. I then turned around and braced myself for the last boring part of Mass before we walk up for communion and my family slips out through the side door. Almost done. My parents were still shaking hands and making small talk with their neighbors when the woman in the front of me turned around and gave me a broad smile. She looked to be in her late 70s and was sharply dressed in a bright green old lady suit, the kind Queen Elizabeth wears. She extended her hand to me and said, "You smell just like your grandfather," never breaking eye contact. I shook her hand and gave her a weak smile and she slowly turned back around. I didn't think much of it. I was 12 years old at the time and understood that senile old women flocked to church like flies to a fresh piece of dog shit. The priest began the communion ceremony. The congregation quieted down and shortly after I was back home, untucking my dress shirt and getting ready for a day of playing video games and eating junk food. I liked church. My time spent gaming flew by. I looked at the clock and saw 10 PM. Time for bed. One perk of having a ground floor bedroom was I could fall asleep to the sound of crickets chirping outside the window beside my bed. I drifted off to sleep quickly. When I woke up, I was surprised to see it was still dark out. I looked at my alarm clock and the red digital numbers showed 4:20 AM. The crickets were no longer chirping and I was painfully aware of the dense silence in my room. I ignored it and laid my head back down, pleased that I could snag a few more hours of shut-eye. I was drifting back to sleep when I heard a distant giggle. My eyes shot open and I focused all my energy on listening through the dead silence. Another giggle, a little louder this time. I looked around my room checking to see if I left something on. My TV was off, N64 was off, Game Boy Color was off. None of my toys made noise. My parents usually fall asleep with the TV on, so another giggle. It was loud enough now that I could pinpoint the source to my backyard. I froze in place, felt the blood rushing to my limbs, and spent the next few minutes deciding if I should lay still in my bed and pray for sunrise or sit up, peek through the shutters, and see what was making the noise. After a few minutes of contemplation, I decided that whatever was making the noise was probably some benign thing like a critter calling out, or maybe a raccoon got hold of my dog toy. I kept thinking of the episode of SpongeBob when Squidward thinks someone is spying on him, but it turns out to be a piece of coral scraping against his house. Squid's day off. Still, I wanted to find the source. I sat up, took a deep breath, and peered through the blinds, not daring to open them or move them. I saw my backyard faintly illuminated by the orange glow of a nearby streetlight. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary. I scanned around the yard and saw a few toys scattered around the grass. This little slide and swing set I hadn't touched since I was 8. The uncoiled garden hose, the old stone fountain, and no water running through it. I felt better seeing that it obviously wasn't something serious. All the same, what I heard was weird as hell, and I intended to explain what happened to my parents later. I decided I should pull the blinds up to take a better look at the yard so I could honestly tell them I looked everywhere. I turned to reach for the cord and saw the old woman from the church staring at me. She was standing outside on a planter box beside my window, wearing the same outfit from the day before. She looked down at me with bulging eyes and a huge smile. I froze and stared back at her. My brain turned off. All I could do was stare. After what I felt like hours, she said, "Will you let me in?" I came back to life and sprinted to my parents' room. They were awakened before I reached them, asking me for an explanation. I said there was a lady outside my window. My dad gave me a dry look but humoured me by going to my room and taking a peek out the window. He saw nothing and told me all those video games are giving me nightmares. I begged him to call the police, but he rolled his eyes and told me to go back to sleep. I slunk back to my room and sat in my beanbag chair with my eyes fixed on the window. School time couldn't come soon enough. I don't know about you guys, but I thought I really enjoyed this little story, and I thought it was maybe like a good start to start Spooktober. It's not the creepiest story online, and it's not like the scariest thing I've ever read, but it's just got enough of the creepiness, and let's be honest, old ladies can be creepy at times, so I just thought it was like a cool little story just to start this month with. In any case, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please remember to give it a thumbs up, and if you're new to the channel and would like to see more, just please press that subscribe button. I just want to apologize for my minor absence. It's been a hectic couple of weeks at work, and I've just been honestly too exhausted to actually make videos. I'd get my off days would be spent in bed. I was just too exhausted to move. But yeah, I'm wanting to get back onto schedule, and I'm wanting to start making good content again. In any case, I hope you guys are doing well, you're surviving in these terrible times, and you're finding that every bit of joy you need to find in order to survive every day. And yeah, I hope you guys are looking forward to Halloween as much as I am. Yeah, I just hope everything is going your way and life is good for you. Thanks for watching. This is Zonda, signing off.